everyone, my name is Danielle and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a 5-star predictions video. My last 5-star prediction video did not go very good. I picked, I think, 5 books for that video and I disliked or DNF'd most of them. I don't have high hopes for this one because of that, but I still want to do one. I still am hoping to love all these books, and this time I'm picking ones that have a higher potential of me enjoying them. I decided to go with 14 books for this video for these 5-star predictions. I'm picking 7 older backlist books, ones that were published prior to 2022. And I'm also picking 7 that I am excited to read that are published in the year of 2022. I'm going with 14 because that's just the number that worked with the amount of books that I wanted to put on here. I have 7 older titles and I have 7 brand new ones for 2022. So I'm going to start with the ones that I am hoping to love, hope to give 5 stars, that are 2021 or older titles. I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to go down the ones that I have. The first one that I think is going to be 5 stars is Harrow the Ninth by Tasman Muir. This is the sequel to Gideon the Ninth, which I absolutely loved this year. I read it a couple months ago. It is probably going to be in my favorite books of the year for this year. This is basically pitched as lesbian necromancers in space, which is definitely true. I also believe there's much more to this. There is a competition in it. There is a gothic castle. It is funny and creepy and just perfect. Great slow burn, like kind of enemies to lovers relationship in the first one. It left off in the craziest place for me, and I absolutely love the first book, so I'm super excited to read the second book. Just love the covers. I loved the first one, so I really do think this one will be a 5-star. The next one I have is a fantasy that I've heard amazing things about. Everyone who reads this seems to absolutely love this series, and that is Jade City by Fonda Lee. This is a fantasy that I believe the magic system is set around jade. There's like mafia groups in it. Other than that, I don't know a ton about it, and I kind of want to go into it without much more knowledge of that, but it just seems like everyone that reads the series absolutely loves it. So I'm really hoping that I'm gonna give it 5 stars as well. Third book just came out, I think like 2 weeks ago. I feel like this is a good time to start it. There's also a readathon, I think, that is being hosted by Mel from Mel Reads. I believe that is who's hosting it. I'll link her down below. So each month for January, February, and March, they're going to be reading the trilogy. So I figured this is a good time to read it because I'm planning to read it anyway. But I'm really hoping that this one and hopefully the whole series will be 5 stars as well. The next one I have is one that I'm kind of nervous about. I'm not 100% sure that I will give this one 5 stars. That one is 6 Crimson Cranes. This is by Elizabeth Lim. She wrote the Spin the Dawn duology, which I really enjoyed the first one, and then the second one was just okay. But I am hoping to really like this because I do like her writing. I have liked her stories in the past, and I really love this edition of this book. I believe this is the first in a series. I'm not 100% sure if it's a series or a duology again, but as far as I know, I believe this is about a girl, a princess who has magic, but she is cursed to, like, she can't speak, and if she does, like, her brothers who have been turned into cranes will die, so she has to try to figure out how to break this curse without talking. And I believe it's a retelling, but I'm not 100% sure again. I'm really hoping to enjoy this one because, again, I have liked Elizabeth Lim's books before, and I'm hoping this one will be the one that'll hit 5 stars. All of these seem to be the beginning of series, but I just really want to read some good fantasy, get into fantasy again next year, and that's what I'm hoping to accomplish by doing these ones. But my next one is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. She's the one that wrote Caraval, which is, first book is one of my favorite books basically of all time. I did not really enjoy the rest of the series, but the first book was one of my absolute favorites ever. So I am hoping to really enjoy this one. As far as I know, this is about a girl who makes a deal with a fate to stop like the wedding of the person she's in love with, but he trades her for, I think, 3 kisses, and I'm not really sure where it goes from there. Other than that, I don't know a ton about this one. I do think it's kind of set in the same world as Caraval. Really love this edition. This is the Owl Crate edition. I also have the Fairy Loot edition, but I'm really hoping to enjoy this one because I did enjoy Caraval, and I am hoping to love something else by her because I know I can enjoy her books. So this one I am definitely hoping will be 5 stars. Again, I'm pretty sure it's the first in a series, so we'll see how it goes, but I do have high hopes for this one as well. And my next one is another start to a series, and that is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is I'm pretty sure it's a fantasy, but I keep hearing something about sci-fi. But it is inspired, I believe, by pre-Columbia America. And I just know it's fantasy. Everyone really, really seems to love this one. I have never read anything by Rebecca Roanhorse. I don't think I've read anything by Rebecca Roanhorse. I have a couple books that I do want to read by her, but I just hear this book is amazing. It is just, everyone raves about how good of a start of a series this is. So I'm hoping that I will really, really enjoy this one. And I think this has a lot to do with like a prophecy, lots of characters that people are obsessed with. So I have incredible high hopes for this one, even though I have not read anything, I don't think, by her. I'm still hoping that I will just absolutely love this one. So it's another one that I just really, really hope I enjoy. And then I have one that I don't physically own. I have it on Kindle Unlimited. This is a totally different genre than I'm used to, and I've never read anything by this author, but I am hoping to really enjoy this one. It is Wrath, and I believe the author is Ella James. This is a male-male new adult bully romance, I believe, about these two boys that I'm really 100% sure. I love the cover, and it sounds really emotional because I think they're both going through some really difficult situations, and I don't know why I think this one's going to be 5 stars. There's just something about it. I read a couple of reviews about it and people are saying how emotional it is, and it just sounds really, really good. So I think that one will be 5 stars. I haven't read it yet because I think it's like 700 pages, and I cannot imagine reading a romance book that is that long. There's just something about that one that is calling to me that just sounds like it's going to be super emotional and I'm going to love it. So I'm hoping again that that one is going to be 5 stars. There's just something about it that I think is going to be 5 stars. So we'll see. That is another one I'm hoping for. And then my last one is by an author that I have absolutely loved previously. Also have kind of DNF'd a different series of hers, soft DNF'd, but so we'll see how this goes. But this one sounds more up my alley for what I previously loved from her. And that is N.K. Jemisin, but I'm just talking about the first book. This is all 3 of the Inheritance trilogy. I am just planning on reading the Broken Kingdoms. No, that's the second book, I think. The 100,000 Kingdoms is the first book that I want to read. I will hopefully read all of these next year, but the one that I'm for now saying is going to be 5 stars is the first book, which is the 100,000 Kingdoms. I really know nothing about this series. I know there is a romance that's pretty central to the plot for the first book, and I just know that there's like gods and monsters, and I want to say the first one has to do with a girl like getting her inheritance from the gods and maybe having like a relationship with like death of some kind. Not 100% sure, but I really do want to try and read this one because I absolutely loved the 5th season, the Broken Earth trilogy from her. And this one sounds much more involved of what I like from fantasy versus her other series, which set of the one that's set in New York. I can't think of the name of it. I wasn't a big fan of that one. I only read about the first 100 pages and I just was not loving it. But I do think this one will be much more my style of fantasy. So I'm very excited to try this one. And I really, really hope I love it. And then for this section, this is going to be the books that are going to be released in 2022 that I think are going to be 5 stars. So the first one that I think is going to be 5 stars is A Prayer for the Crown Shy, I believe is the title. Yes, by Becky Chambers. This is the sequel to A Psalm for the Wild-Built, which is one of my favorite books of this year so far. I absolutely love that book. This will be the sequel to that one. This book series are novellas that follow a monk who is basically trying to find their way in the world because they were not happy with what they were doing. In the process of doing this, they meet a robot, and this is the first contact with robots in years after the robots basically achieved sentience and decided that they no longer wanted to do what these humans were expecting them to. So this is kind of their journey together, and I absolutely loved the first book. It gave me such the feels, and it was beautiful. I loved it. So I have such high hopes for the second one. I really am really curious on where the story's kind of gonna go from here, but absolutely love the first one, so I have really high hopes for the second one. So these ones are gonna kind of be all over the place genre-wise because I just have 7 books that I picked that I hope for. So this next one is a thriller, which I'm very scared to put thrillers on this list, but I feel like I've picked a bunch because I just have not found really 5-star thrillers lately. I found a lot of thrillers I've loved, but nothing that's really hit that 5-star much. I think I maybe had one this year. Otherwise, there's just not a lot that I've absolutely loved. So I'm having high hopes for this one. It is 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. He is the one that wrote 8 Perfect Murders, The Kind Worth Killing. There was the other one that came out this year. He's written a lot, and I've read a few of his books. I've absolutely loved 2 of them. One of them I really didn't enjoy, but I do have high hopes for this one because I feel like it's more in the vein of 8 Perfect Murders, which is one I absolutely love. It follows a group of people whose name are on this list. They have no idea why. They don't really care until the people start getting murdered off this list, and then I think they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I love that kind of gimmick of like a list, a website, or something kind of like that, tying all of these random people together and they all start dying, or people start dying because of this situation. So I really have high hopes for that one. I know that I've loved Peter Swanson in the past, so I do think that I could absolutely love this one. So I have really, really high hopes. I hope I love that one. I hope it's 5 stars. The next one that I have is another thriller. This is The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark. So she's the author that wrote The Last Flight, and that was either earlier this year or last year. Really enjoyed that one. But this follows a woman who I think was swindled or conned by this woman, and then years and years later that con woman comes back and the woman is determined to basically get her revenge. But I think as she's trying to work out how to get her revenge on her, they get closer and she kind of finds out the reasons for why this woman is doing it, and I think nothing is quite as it seems. It sounds interesting, and I know that I've really liked Julie Clark before. I loved her last book, so I do have hopes for this one. I am a little nervous just because it is a thriller, and I know thrillers are not always going to be 5 stars, but I do just feel like this one is going to be it because it just sounds good. It sounds like it could be something that I really enjoy. The next one I have is from another author that I have really enjoyed a book and just kind of liked a book. And that book is What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I really loved The Hollow Places. I think that's what it is. Yes, The Hollow Places is a thing, I think is the one I really loved. That one, I think I gave that one like a 4.5, but then I also read the Twisted ones, which I only gave like a 3. It was just okay. But this one, it sounds super creepy, and I'm really excited for it because I believe it is about a retired soldier who returns to see a friend as she is dying, but there is like creepy plant and fungal situation. The girl is like sleepwalking, and he's trying to figure out what's going on, but it sounds creepy. The cover is super, super creepy. And I just really am hoping that I love this one, like The Hollow Places. It sounds good and creepy, and I'm just super excited for it. So that's another one that I'm hoping that will hit that 5-star mark because The Hollow Places was really close. I really wanted to give them 5 stars. It just didn't feel like it. So I'm hoping this one will hit that mark for me. So the next one that I have, I am really worried about, but it is Siren Queen by Nevo. She has written 3 books that I've absolutely loved, and I love the cover of this one too. And this is about a girl in Hollywood. I think that is basically wants to be a star. She wants to achieve that kind of immortality that comes with being a star, but it sounds like there's something to do with there's blood deals, there's magic, and she has to make deals with Hollywood executives in kind of a sneaky magical way like that to achieve what she wants. So we'll see how that is. I absolutely loved The Chosen and the Beautiful, and I really loved her 2 books in the Singing Hills cycle. So I know I love Nevo's writing. I know I can love her books. So I really hope this one will hit that 5-star mark again for me. I'm a little nervous because it is to do a lot more with Hollywood, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I am excited. I love her books. I could not pick it, and I really hope that I will like this one as well. And then my second to last one is the one that I feel like I have to pick. It is Gallant by Eve Schwab. I've loved almost every V.E. Schwab book I've ever read, the exception being, I can't know if you see it, Our Dark Duet. I don't know how I feel about that series or about that duology. I really like the first one, didn't love the second one, but all other books from her I've absolutely loved. So I'm very excited about this one. It sounds kind of creepy almost, and I'm kind of excited about it. But it says it's The Secret Garden meets Crimson Peak, about a girl that returns home with a letter from her mother maybe. And creepy things are kind of happening. Her cousin is really hostile and doesn't want her to be there. I don't want to read too much in this synopsis because I kind of want to be surprised, but it sounds creepy. It sounds good. I've loved V.E. Schwab, so I feel like I have to like this one. And the last one that I have is a romance, so we'll see how that goes, but it is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I absolutely loved Beach Read from her. It was one of my favorite romances basically ever. Was not the biggest fan of People We Meet on Vacation, but I think it's just because I'm not the hugest fan of the friends to lovers trope. I am more of the rivals, I guess would be the term for this kind of thing, rivals to lovers, and this one definitely feels like that is more of it. It follows the book publishing world, which I think is always fascinating to read about. And I think she is a publicist. He might be too, and they meet like on somewhere and they keep having to like deal with each other, and neither of them really think they are like the hero or the heroine, but they still end up kind of dealing with each other. It sounds adorable. It sounds cute. I know that I love Emily Henry. I have read 3 books from her now, so I hope that I will absolutely love this one too. It sounds great, and I just feel like it's gonna hit that 5-star mark again for me too, so I'm hoping for that one. So those are the 14 books that I am hoping will be 5 stars next year. I am planning on reading them all at some point. Obviously, I might try to vlog it. I just know me, and vlogging is never good. I can never stick on track with vlogging. I give up about halfway through when I vlog, especially when it's like a week. So I need to start doing like a weekend reading vlog. So maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll just pick a couple books weekends sometimes and just read those when I'm in the mood. Again, thank you Mood Reading for never letting me plan out videos that have to do with vlogging. But there we go. There's my 14 books for my 5-star predictions. Hopefully I give all of them 5 stars, but I'm sure that I will not, but we'll see. Let me know in the comments below which one of these books you guys think I will give 5 stars, or any of them that you would give 5 stars. If you've read them and loved them, or think you want to read them, I would love to hear. That's it for this video today, guys, and I will see you next time.